Hey you guys, Tony here. Want to welcome you to the channel, Life as You Create It. If you haven't saved this channel and subscribed, go ahead and click the button that you'll find on this video and subscribe to the channel. You'll be glad you did. Today's video, what we're going to be talking about is how to build a business even if you're flat broke. How to build a business even if you're flat broke. I'm going to do this video in two parts. So the first part, which you can expect we're going to talk about, is real estate that we all own. Now, I'm not talking about the houses that we buy and flip. I'm talking about real estate that you own that's in between these two ears right here, and that's your brain and your thoughts. We're going to talk about that on the first portion of this video, and then on the second portion of this video, you definitely want to stay on for the whole entire thing and watch the whole video, because at the end of the video, I'm going to be sharing some huge nuggets on what you can do to create the seed corn, the money, or the seed money to put into advertising and growing and building your business. Now, if you have a brick and mortar business, hopefully you took the steps necessary within your business plan to have that part of it taken care of before you even open that up. But sometimes people will have a a brick and mortar business, and that is going through some troubles right now, and they're hopefully what they're trying to do is to save that business. A lot of times people will close up those businesses and they'll start a home-based business, and they end up having some very good success with that over having a brick and mortar business and having to deal with all that mess. Trust me, I know it's hectic. Had a couple of those in my day, and you know, I like the other types of business where you don't have to have the brick and mortar. For me, that's better. But if you see me looking down, it's because I got some notes here, some stuff that I want to share with you, and made a video of something similar to this in the past, and there were some things, I got some really good reviews about it, and some things that people had asked me to add to the next video. So what I did, I'm going to go ahead and make this video, resend it out to everyone, and if you've seen something similar to this one, make sure you stay on, because I have some good stuff on here that I want to share with you. And on the other video, I didn't really touch about some of the aspects of and philosophies of your brain and what you can do to implement some good things to take control of your thoughts and things like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Some of the things I want to talk about first and foremost, like I said, is if you are going to have a business, or if you already have a business and you didn't do this part in your process, may I recommend that you go ahead and start doing it now. If you're looking at starting a business now, well, then you're going to really want to take these steps, because it's going to be important. Even if you do have some success, or you had some success and never did any of what I'm going to talk about, you're going to want to start doing it now, because if you come into a roadblock sometime in your life, that cross section, you're going to have the tools to be able to get you past that, and that you don't fumble and stay down. You know and have enough tools to be able to get back up and keep on walking, which is what my prayer is for everyone, that you don't, when you fall, that you get back up. Don't stay down. Get back up. However many times you got to get back up, just get back up. Don't quit. Okay. I wanted to talk to you first about is audios. I use audios a lot. I have audios from Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, and some of the other great leaders in the self-help arena, like Tony Robbins, etc. And some of these recordings, I put them on an MP3 player. Some of you may have something like, an iPod Shuffle or something like that. You can put the MP3s on that. Put one earbud on in one of the ears and leave the other one out, so in case, God forbid, you need to hear something while you're sleeping, you have the ear open that you can do that. So, it's my recommendation, you don't put both earbuds on and turn that thing all the way up. Just leave it at a low tone and leave one ear open. As far as books, I get a lot of questions on books that I like to read. The number one book, first and foremost, that I enjoy reading, and for some of you that don't maybe agree, that's okay. That's a cool thing about being you, is you're free to choose what you want to choose. And my number one book, when people ask me, I don't hesitate to tell them is this one right here, and that is the Holy Bible. And if you don't take up on that, on those philosophies, that's fine. If you don't agree or believe that way, that's fine. I'm just telling you that my #1 book is this one right here, and that's the Holy Bible. Many books, many self-help books, and I've read many of them, some of which I'm going to go over here on this list. Many books that I read today and many books that I've read in the past, a lot of them have some, and now they might not come out and say go to this scripture or whatever, but some of them, many of them, do refer to some of the scriptures. Now you might not know it if you don't read the scriptures, but many of the stuff that you read in these self-help let me see if I can get it right, self-help books are referring to some of the stuff that that author learned in the Holy Bible and the scriptures. So one of the other books that I like to read, which is, like I said, some of the references that you read in here, even though it may not come directly and say it to go here in such and such place in the scriptures, is this book right here. And this is As a Man Thinketh, and it's by James Allen. I don't know if you could read that. By James Allen, and it's As a Man Thinketh. This is the book I'm reading right now. This is the book that I have by my nightstand, and I read on a daily basis, on a nightly basis when I go to sleep. I at least try to take at least 15 to 20 minutes to read, and I just don't like to go straight to bed. You know what I mean? I like to, you know, take my prayer time and my meditation time, quiet time, and then I read before I go to sleep. Now this book here is kind of cool because it actually has two books. It has As a Man Thinketh, and the book that I'm on to right now is From Poverty to Power. That's a bonus book in this one here. It's From Poverty to Power. As a Man Thinketh is a very short read. You can read that in real quick. It's a very short read, and then if you want to read, if you get this book, you have an additional book with this one, and that is From Poverty to Power. How fitting is that book, From Poverty to Power, when I'm talking to you about is how to build a business even if you're flat broke. So that's actually maybe a really good book for you to get, From Poverty to Power, and it's in this book. I got it, actually both books in one, which is really cool. My wife got me this book, and I'm so grateful to her that she had got me that book. Another book is The Magic of Thinking Big. The Magic of Thinking Big is another book that I really thoroughly enjoy. I really recommend that you get it, and that's The Magic of Thinking Big. Asking It Is Given is a really good book. And there's another book that I heard about. I don't have this book, but I heard about it. It's called The Go-Giver. The Go-Giver. That's a really good book, something like that, to that effect. I haven't had a chance to look it up, but it's something similar to The Go-Getter. So that's where, you know, maybe it's the same author, but it's The Go-Getter is another book, and The Go-Giver. So check out those two books there. See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. It's another really good book. I really enjoy Zig Ziglar's books. He's one of my favorite mentors, along with a couple other ones. And the notorious Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is another one of my favorite books. I was going to pull it out here so you could see it, but you know, you can look it up. It's by Napoleon Hill. I've read that book many a times, and actually I'm going to be pulling that book out again to read it after I'm done reading this book right here, and that is Think and Grow Rich. There's a book that I heard about today. I don't know if any of you that are watching this video read this book. I did not read it, but I am going to get it, and it's called Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. Now, I'm not really a big fan of the Rockefellers, any of them, especially based on some of the things that I do know about the Rockefellers, but hey, mastering the habits, the Rockefeller habits, as far as their business and stuff like that. They're you know, some of the things they do to grow their businesses, and you know, because of their commitment to habits and you know, things like that. If you can master some of those habits and put them to good use and put it to some good, why not, right? So those are some of the books that I recommend that you do read. And some of the books that I don't have, if you get them, and if you want to post on here or send me an email, tell me what you think about it. It'd be great. I would love to hear from you. So, like I said, that book there, that Mastering the Rockefeller Habits, I don't have that book, but it's my intention to go ahead and get that book. So I'm going to go ahead and log on here after I'm done here, and I'm going to get that book so that I can have it in my library. And you can see behind me back there, you'll see I have a bunch of books in my library. That book, there's some real estate courses in there. There's a really good book in there. I can see it from here. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Another good book that's on that shelf there that I read twice is How to Win Friends and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I love that book. I read it a couple times, and that's actually another book that I'm going to pull off the shelf. Not so much dusted off because it doesn't have much dust on it, but I'm going to pull that book off the shelf and put it with my other book. I'm going to read, back and forth between the two. So those are books, and like I said, if you come up with any books that you think that maybe I'd like to read, hey, go ahead and share them. That'd be great, and we can just communicate back and forth via email, and that'll be awesome. And if I do connect with some of you, because I'm going to be putting together a mastermind where I'm going to be setting aside some time between 15 minutes to a half an hour, and we're going to be doing some mentoring and coaching sessions with some of you that have recommended or asked me if I do that, and I told you no. After some mind digging and stuff like that, I've decided that maybe I will go ahead and set aside 15 minutes to half an hour to do some mentoring and coaching sessions with some of you folks that ask me if I do that. There's going to be a small fee. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be a small fee, and I'll set aside 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and for however long I decide to do that, I'm not going to do it for long. But if I decide to do it for maybe a week or something like that, you guys can go ahead and slot yourself in there, and I'll probably do it for maybe I'll do 1 or 2 a day. Okay, so that's forthcoming. If you're subscribed to the channel and you're on the list that I'm going to put together a web page, I'm going to give you an opportunity to fill in that form and request a time slot. Then you'll be on that list. I'll blast it out, and first come, first serve. Okay, so that's something that I'm working on, and I'm going to put that over on the website when that's done. And all the links that I talk about, anything that I talk about on this video, if there's any links or anything like that that I want to share with you, I will put it at the bottom of this video. Okay, so that way you know that. One of the things that a lot of times people fail to do when they decide to or have a home-based business is they fail to create their plan. Now, you might know it as setting goals. However you name it, did you do it? So many of us, and let me tell you something, I'm pointing fingers back at myself because I was one that also didn't practice that. The cool thing is that I wasn't preaching it. But now that I am preaching it, I'm practicing it, okay? So, and that is writing down your plan and or your goals. Call it whatever you want. Because if you don't have it written down, the way I recommend people do, and I was actually going through some studies today, and I'm going to make a more in-depth, I'm going to actually put together a more in-depth video covering this, but I didn't want to include it in this video here because this video here is how to build a business even if you're flat broke. So I don't want to cover these more in-depth things that have to do with goal setting and things like that in your mind, but I just want to sort of skim over it to give you at least an idea and let you know that you should consider writing your vision. I like to call it vision. Write out your vision for 10 years and then write out your vision for 90 days. So the 90-day action plan that you're going to take to work towards your 10-year goal. So whatever that is, whether it's to have your own Hawker 850 XP or to have your own 7 Series IL BMW, 750 IL BMW, or whatever your vision is to have whatever it is, your income level. Maybe you don't want, maybe it's not a fancy car. Maybe it's not to be able to fly private in a Hawker airplane. Maybe that's not something that you want. But, whatever your vision is and whatever you think is what you want, and not think, but whatever you know what you want, remember that what the mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. You're going to learn that when you go to read the book, Think and Grow Rich. It's not only in that book, it's also in this book. And it's also, remember I told you, a lot of stuff comes back, it's also in the Holy Scriptures. So, what you think about, comes about. Remember that. What you think about most will come about. So, if you have bad thoughts and you have negative things that you're always thinking about, or if you're sitting down watching the bad news all the time, put your foot through your TV, throw the damn thing out front. It's no good. Unless you're watching it unless you have that TV to watch some really good DVDs that you're going to learn something from, turn the damn thing around, use it as a coffee, tabletop or something like that. But anyway, We won't go there. But anyway, because you know, I can't sit here and say I don't watch any TV, but I do watch very little of it, maybe like a half an hour or so, just unwinding. I don't want to just, you know, I don't, because I do a lot of reading and I do a lot of audio stuff, and I do a lot of training and I do a lot of stuff like that. That sometimes I want to unwind just for 15 and do mindless things, and that's why they call it a boob tube. So I do like 15-20 minutes, watch a good show, like maybe a music show or something like that that has to do with talent and stuff like that. So I do watch those. I really enjoy those because it's kind of really cool to see people that are struggling and they have a passion and they're going for their vision, and they end up on one of these shows that they're able to maybe someday see their dreams come true. So that's great. That's why I watch those things. One of the things you also got to remember, and it really goes on what the mind conceives, believes it will achieve, and also what you think about comes about, is that if it's to be, it's up to me. I'm pointing back at myself. If it's to be, it's up to me. So whatever it is that I want in my life to be successful, whatever it is, if it's to be, it's up to me. Write that down. If it's to be, it's up to me. And I didn't say this at the beginning. You probably should have known to have a piece of white paper and a blue pen. There's a reason why you want blue ink. White paper and blue ink. Don't ask me why, because I don't have time to explain it right now. But white paper and blue ink, and write down some notes. Please take notes. Write this down. If it's to be, it's up to me. So in other words, if it's to be, it's up to you. Whatever it is you set out to do, it's up to you. And one thing you want to remember, everything that I'm touching on right here, and the nuggets that I'm going to drop on you at the very, you know, at the end of the video here, with on how to create that seed corn so that you can build a business, even if you're flat broke. Create that seed corn so that you have that seed money, you know, if you want to call it, to create, you know, to build your business. Is that winners will do what losers refuse to do. Winners, winners will do what losers refuse to do. And losers refuse to do what winners like you will do. So if you have a loser in your life, or people that are saying, well, you can't, or it's impossible for you, or you know, you need to get that person out of your life. God forbid if it's your, you know, parent or something like that. I know most parents will not say, well, they might slip and they'll go and apologize to the child and say, well, you can't do that. You know, please, if you're a parent, I'm a parent. If you're a parent, please don't do that to your child. Don't tell your child that they can't do something. If your child comes to you and says, Mom or Dad, I want to go do this, you know, support them. Help them. It's like in a show that I was watching yesterday. Like I told you, I watched a few minutes of show. Last night I caught the one show that I'm enjoying right now. And the girl is 13 years old. 13 years old. And if you heard that young lady, I'm sorry, her name escapes me right now. But if you heard this young lady sing, I mean, I got goosebumps racing on my back right now because I can remember, I'm having a picture in my mind of that young lady singing at 13 years old, and I couldn't believe the voice that she had. But her mother and her father, look at the goosebumps racing on my face. Her mother and her father supported her. They were there every step of the way. They constantly told their child, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You can do, be, and have whatever you want. Okay? You can do, be, and have whatever you want. I get so excited about this stuff. I really do. Because I study this stuff. I take it in daily, on a daily basis. For sometimes hours on end. I probably spend more time on this than I do my real estate business, my currency trading business, and my home-based business. I probably spend more time on this than I do any of that stuff. Really. And if you, I'm telling you, because you know I practice what I preach. I tell my daughters this, I tell everybody that I know, I try to bless them and tell them, listen, read books like this. You know, turn off the Facebook and Twitter and all that crap. Get some stuff, some good stuff into your mind, some good videos, some good audio, some good books into your mind. And if you can do that, you'll be surprised how much more and quickly you'll be successful, whatever it is you decide to do. Okay? So if it's to be, it's up to me. And remember that winners will do what losers refuse to do. That's really important. One more thing I'd like for you to write down. I'm looking off to the side here because I have it here. I see it every single day. And that is a quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. Okay? A winner never quits, and a quitter never wins. Just like a quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. So write that down. If you want, I would recommend putting it on a piece of paper, print it out, post it in places. I have this in right beside my bed, and I also have it here in my office so that I can remind myself that that saying I just said. One of the things, another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is here's basically what I'd like to share with you in this video. And this is where we get into the part 2 of this video, okay? And that's where the golden nuggets are going to come. So I added some stuff to this list, so when you hear me looking, like I said, if you see me looking down, it's because I want to be sure that I give you everything that I have on here, okay? So basically what I want to share with you is how can you get that seed corn, that seed money, so that you can go ahead and finally start to build that business that you want to build. So one of the things that you can do is, I always tell people this, is that there's so many different things you can do to create that seed corn or that seed money for your business. But I just got this yesterday. I heard this statistic. Did you know, as of this recording, that the incomes are down to 1980 levels in the United States? Middle class incomes are down to 1980 levels. I was floored when I heard, when my mentor Rod told me this yesterday. He told us in our mastermind group. He was telling us about income levels being down to 1980 levels, and he read this in Wealth Wire. Now he's going to be getting the article to me and the group. He's going to hopefully get the article to us soon, and if I have it and you're in my group or in my organization, I'll see if I'm allowed to share it with you, and I'll definitely share it with you. If not, maybe what I'll do is I'll put together a quick blog or something like that and share it with you so that you can get this information. But income levels are down to 1980 levels. Now you're probably sitting there agreeing with me, because you're probably saying, yeah, right here, this guy, or this young lady, this woman is at that level right now. If you're there, then you know what I'm talking about. You probably made more back in 1980 if you were, of working age back then. You probably made more back in 1980 than you are right now, and that's a pretty sad that's a sad state of affairs, and that's in the United States. Now, I also heard later on in this conversation, one of the members that were on there was saying that he lives in Canada, that he found out that he heard that Canadians, the middle income of Canadians is actually much higher than the middle income of Americans. So those people that are middle income, considered middle income in the United States, their income is lower than the middle income of Canadians. Now, if you're Canadian, you're watching this, I would love to be able to verify that. If you could send me that information to show up so I can read it, that would be awesome. Or a news report or something like that you might have seen in Canada. If you want to share that with me, that would be great. Okay, that would be great, and I really would appreciate that. Okay, now one of the things that I want to talk about is, first and foremost, is you want to make sure, and now we're going to get into how to create that seed corn or the seed money so that you can build your business even if you're flat broke. All right. Number one is you need to make sure you have a job or a stable income. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, duh, Tony, I knew that. Well, a lot of people don't. Okay. Like Dub Van's story is, you were born with the seeds of greatness. Did you know that? You were born with the seeds of greatness. The problem is that you were, you actually were born to win, but you were conditioned to lose. Remember when I said earlier how when a parent would say to a child, you can't do that, or whatever, or somebody would say that. See, that's conditioning. So you were born to be great, but conditioned to lose. And hopefully with this here that we're talking about here in future videos, we can help you so that we can get you past that. All right. So just remember that you were born to be great, but just conditioned to fail. All right. So basically, what I want to talk to you here about is, you basically want to go ahead and find a stable income, whether it's a part-time job or something like that. If you get a part-time job, I don't even like saying that word, but if you do have to get a part-time work or something like that, and make that part-time work the income that is going to be for your business. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a full-time job and you're working, trying to build your business part-time, well, you have the part-time, you create some seed corn and seed money to put into your business, then that's what that part-time would be for. when you go and create and implement some of the stuff that I'm going to share with you here, do me a favor, or do yourself a favor. You're not doing me any favors. Do yourself a favor. Don't spend that money. Sometimes people, and I have people in my own family, if they have an extra $1,000, that $1,000 is gone like that. Within 20 minutes, that money is gone. They could always find a reason why to spend that money. Now, you're probably sitting there giggling because you probably do the same thing. And if you know me personally, you know I'm probably talking about you. So if you do create extra seed corn or extra seed money for your business, do yourself a favor. You're not doing me any favors. Do yourself a favor and don't spend that money. Put it off to the side, give it to your parents or give it to someone you trust, and make sure that they don't spend it. And keep that money for your seed corn, and use that money to, say, maybe get some leads. I'm going to be teaching on that too. I have some videos. I think I have some videos on this channel, or if not, I will be putting some videos on this channel where you can actually get a lead source that is only going to cost you $20 a month after you pay your membership fee. So you can see that at muchneededtool.com, muchneededtool.com. So if you are able to do that now, then you can at least get some leads going, and then I'm going to teach you how to do this all on autopilot, where the emails go out automatically, and you don't need to. You only set it and forget it. That's a trademark or something, I don't know, but I'm just saying that you can set it and forget it, and that's muchneededtool.com. I will put like I said, I'll put all these links at the bottom of the video. Number 2 is to cut your expenses. This is my favorite part, so I'm going to spend some time here on this particular one. This is my favorite part, and that's cutting your expenses. You see my face, I'm smiling, and I get excited about this, is because I actually implemented everything that I'm going to teach you here. And that is, I have just done this. I mean, just recently, as 6 to 8 months ago, I was reminded about some of this stuff, and I never did it. My wife and I never did it, but we finally did, and we are dumbfounded on how much savings we actually have because we implemented what I'm about to teach you right now. So how can you cut your expenses to get your financials in order? Well, cell phones. How many times have you gotten your cell phone bill and said to yourself, my Lord, I know somebody who's paying $200 a month, and that's just for one line. $200 a month. Because they have a plan, internet plan, and they have the texting stuff, and they have all this stuff on these cell phones, and you end up paying so much more than if you went with, believe it or not, and this doesn't mean that you're broke because you have a plan that's not a contract. I have for years had a company that that we were using for many years in our business, and we were spending $180 to $200 a month just on two lines, because we had the quote-unquote contracts, and we got the quote-unquote free phones and all that stuff, when in reality they lock you in. Nowadays they're locking you in for 2 years, and I even heard they're talking about locking people in for 3 years. So if you get locked in for 2 years and 3 years, my friend, you are paying for that phone. Okay, whether it's the newest thing, the newest gadget. Now I guess they have an iPhone 5 as of the time of this recording. The iPhone 5 just came out a couple days ago, and now that's the newest and greatest thing. You can get it for $99, but they're locking you in for 2 years. So you're paying the high bill. You're paying for that phone, my friend. Okay, I mean, I went and got this phone right here. I actually bought it off of a family member of mine, and if you're watching this video, I got it from you. I actually bought this phone here from a family member of mine because the screen was broken. And because I love to mess around with electronics, I actually fixed this phone myself. I got the phone very inexpensively, and because the glass was broke, I now have a $200 phone, and it didn't cost me near that to get this phone. And I put on this plan that's only $29.95 a month. $29.95 a month. Remember, I was telling you $200. It's $29.95 a month, and the other phone that my wife carries, it's $40 a month. She uses the phone more than I do. I don't use it much near what she does, but she uses her phone more than I do. Her phone plan is $40 a month. So look, we're paying $60 compared to almost $200 a month. Just this savings alone, you do the math, multiply out that by 12. Also, auto insurance. Some people are paying auto insurance. They don't even know what kind of insurance they have. They don't know if they have full tort, partial tort, or whatever other names they have for the insurance policy. But I know for a fact that my wife made some phone calls for our company truck, and she actually got us an insurance policy that was about 50% savings. We were paying $1,000 a year for the company truck, and now we're not paying $1,000 a year. We're paying almost half of that, $600. So, you know, you're saving $400 a year, but hey, maybe $500 a year. I can't even do the math because you don't have to be able to do math to be successful in business, right? But you know, $400 or $500 a year we're saving, and you multiply that out over the you know, several years, how much money you're saving. Another thing is cable bills. How many channels do you have on your TV? Seriously, how many channels do you have that you pay for on your TV? You probably have. I had a friend of mine who said to me he heard of someone that had a thousand channels on their TV. 1,000. I know I had 700, 600, something like that. I said to my wife, man, call the cable company. Put the basic stuff on. And can you believe, not only did we save a lot of money, okay, not only did we save a lot of money calling the cable company and asking them to put the basic cable, we actually still have the channels that we watch 99% of the time. Like the show that I was watching yesterday, it's a channel that I watch when I do sit down to watch TV. That's most of the time, that's the channel that I go to. So cutting back, saving money on the cable, we actually still have the same channels that we watch. And that's something, and for years we've been paying the big bill, and we didn't have to. So I'm really grateful that this information I'm sharing with you, that I'm able to share with you now, because now you could, if you're doing the same thing, you can go and just call the cable company up and save yourself some money. This one here, I saved the best for last, and that is your home phone bills. Now, before I touch on that, I want to touch on high-speed internet. This is another thing that we did with the cable company, because we have high-speed internet here in our home, in our office, but we were paying just for high-speed internet alone $55 to $65 a month, depending on the speed that you were getting. Now, I was always under the impression, it's a guy thing, I guess, I had to have the fastest internet out there, sort of like having the fastest car when you're at the racetrack. But I had to have the fastest internet, so we were paying $55 to $65 per month just for the internet. So what we did was I called the internet, the cable company, and I sort of said to him, look, I'm going to disconnect this, and I don't want the internet anymore. Well, the lady was kind enough to say, hey sir, did you know that we have an internet service that is only going to cost you $29 a month? Now, granted, it's not as fast. You don't have all the bells and whistles and the quickest thing, quickest internet service. And sometimes I pay for it because when I do these videos, I have to refresh and refresh and refresh. And sometimes I record it 8 minutes and I have to, like this video here, took me like 5 tries to get this video to where it's at today, and I'm praying that I finish it. But that's why you hear me talking fast. But $29 a month. So you do the math. 29, 55, 65. Look how much money we're saving there. This one here is what I really want to share with you. And this one, listen closely. There's this thing called the Magic Jack. Now, I don't have an affiliate with that or anything like that, but I've known about the Magic Jack since it first came out. But I'm one of these people like that, you know, I have other more important things to worry about than, you know, the phone service. But we had 2 phone lines, 2 to 4 phone lines going at one time. 4 phone lines just for the office and 1 phone line just for the home. And at one time we were paying close to $250 just for the home phone alone, and the office phones and fax numbers, fax machines and all that stuff. Well, with the Magic Jack, okay, now you do the math, $200 some odd a month. The Magic Jack, we pay $19.95 a year. $19.95 a year, and it's on our phones and our office phone. I just have 1 phone, and what I do is I use, you know, you can do this too. There's free services out there where you can get and pay for a number where you can have that number and it can ring in your home on your Magic Jack, and you can answer it while, you know, if you're in your office and you have those hours that you set up, this is the hours that you work, you can actually have it ring on your home, and the person that's calling you won't even know that they're calling you on your home phone, and here you are in your jammies talking to this person and getting them into your business or whatever. Okay, so really consider doing that. Get something similar to a Magic Jack, or get a Magic Jack. I'm not telling you which one to get, whichever one you want, but it's just amazing savings. I mean, I barely use the home phone. I barely like to be on the phone at all. But I was able to use the Magic Jack, and that is really cool. And I actually used the computer through, I could turn it on and off myself through this service. I found a service that, you know, I use, and the service is a phone people call in, and I can actually pick it up right like I'm talking to you. I can talk to these people, and whenever I decide to close my office, I shut the computer off. That thing is turned off, and I don't get bothered in the middle of the night. Isn't that great? So really do that do these things that I'm talking to you about, and if you missed some of it, rewind the video, go back and listen to it again. But get yourself something like a Magic Jack or something like that, and use the internet that you're already paying for. Use that backbone to make your phone calls, and man, you're gonna save so much money doing what I talk to you here. Another way that I implemented myself to create some additional seed corn, and this is really cool because I learned this out of a book that I got a few weeks ago from KT, and I was reading this book, and he was talking about how he shared some information through his book to someone else, and this lady did what he suggested: go around your house and pick up all the stuff that you have laying around. My wife and I have a belief that if we don't use something for 6 to 12 months, then we get rid of it. Now what we're doing is that we're putting it into a pile to sell. We just sold the VCR, got $5, but hey, it's $5. We sold a DVD that I had more than one DVD, so I sold this DVD, I made $30. Okay, but it was just sitting there collecting dust. So if it's sitting there collecting dust, it's got to go. There was a crate. It was really cool. There's this dog crate. Those of you out there that are dog lovers like I am, you guys, most of you who know me know that I have Sophie here. She's my little pooch. But I found a crate, a dog crate that was hers, because she's not in the crate anymore. But I found 2 crates actually. One crate we found in one of the houses that we got, and another crate was hers. Well, I sold the one that was sitting in the garage, and I just walked past it and never really paid much attention to it. But this thing was old, it was old and rusty. So what I did was, one Saturday, my brother and I, we took this thing out, we cleaned it. Not really cleaned it, but we just quickly cleaned it and we painted it. I ended up putting that thing online, and I sold it for $65. It cost me nothing. I got it out of one of the properties. It cost me nothing. I sold it for $65. So what's your return on that? You take infinity and add it, whatever number infinity turns out to be, it's infinite return on your money, because you didn't put no money out. So 0 into $60, you'll do the math, it's infinite. So another thing is an extra car. How many of you have 3 and 4 cars? Seriously, 3 and 4 cars that you don't need. Take some of these cars and get rid of them. If you have 2 cars and one of you are unemployed, sell the car, take your spouse or your significant other to work, and then you can save yourself a lot of money until you're able to go and get another car once you're back on top. And then if you want to have 2 cars after that, that's great. But if you have 2 cars right now and one of you are unemployed, use one car, get rid of the other car. You'll save yourself on insurance, you'll save yourself some money on fuel, and you'll save yourself on many, many different ways. Let me close my door here. Sorry about that. But in many different ways, you're going to save yourself so much money just by selling one car. If you have more than one car, by selling the extra cars, you'll save yourself on insurance, you'll save yourself on fuel, and you're going to be able to save yourself a whole lot of money. You can do the math, like I said. Now, there are some other things you can do online if you don't want to go and get yourself a part-time job or something like that. There are some things you can do online, and one of the things that I found, which is really cool, that I actually shared with so many people, but one story that sticks out in my mind was an associate of mine in California who was at the verge of losing his apartment. Okay, and he stays home and he works from home, but he's having some hard times in his real estate business and stuff like that. So he stays home, and he's had some dry spells there for a little while, like many of us have. And I shared this with him, and he was able to make an additional. Now, I'm not making any income claims here or anything like that. I'm not saying you're going to be able to do the same thing. But what he did was he went to thecashprovided.com, thecashprovided.com. I'll put that link at the bottom of the video. But he went there and he was able to create an additional $700 and $750 from home, and he took that money and he was able to save himself from losing his apartment. So that was helpful to him. Another website that you can go and check out is In-Home Reps and expertplanet.com and liveops.com. And like I said, if you have a computer, obviously you're watching this video, I would say go to thecashprovided.com. There's a really cool program there that you are in-home rep, and you're going to be really working with 500 Fortune 500 companies, not 500, but you're going to be working with Fortune 500 companies, because you know, radio nowadays, people don't even listen to radios. They have you know, they can fast forward their music, they can listen to MP3, so you really don't have to listen to radios. And nowadays you don't even have to watch commercials really on TV. So you can work with these companies through one company. You can work with multiples, but it's through one company. And you can learn more about that by going to thecashprovided.com. thecashprovided.com. So that's what I have for you today, and hopefully everything that I shared with you today would be a real blessing for you, and hopefully you got some nuggets out of this video that you can implement immediately right now into your current situation, so that you can start to build your business even if you're flat broke. You remember at the beginning of the video I said that most of us that think that we're flat broke, we're really not. That just doing some of the things that and I'm sure you can probably expand on some of the things that I showed you today and taught you today, but you could probably expand on that to even take it to a higher level. So I want to leave you with this thought. Take responsibility for your own life. Okay? Take responsibility for your own life. If you're currently going through a situation where you're getting a handout, as quickly as you can, hopefully by implementing what you're learning here and maybe taking advantage of some of the things that we have to offer at the Life as You Create It YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and then go check out those links. I have most of these links that I talked to you about already on there. But like I said, take responsibility for your own life, and on top of that, believe in your dreams and create your stories, because your story is your legacy. The story that you create, remember, life as you create it? Well, the life as you created is your story. And when it's your time to go, wherever it is you're going, in my case, when my Creator taps on my shoulder and brings me home, the life that I created is my story. And because I believed in my dreams and believed in my visions, I created my story, therefore leaving a legacy for those people that I love while I'm here. So with that, I leave you with hopefully some very good nuggets, and at least a way for you to go ahead and start to implement some of the things that you want to take care of in your life. And one of the things I didn't show you, but I'll just touch on it real quick, is that when you're creating your vision, I'm going to go into this deeper on other videos, and hopefully when you subscribe to this channel, you'll be getting these here. And if you're a part of our organization, you're definitely going to get this information. And if you are part of the group that's lucky enough to you know, set aside 15 minutes to half an hour to get me on the phone or Skype, and you pay for that membership there, then what I'm going to do with you is I will touch on this in a deeper, or at least get you the video so that you can learn what I'm about ready to share with you. But you want to go out and get yourself a ledger, or some people call them journals. But I'm not going to open it because I have some personal information in here. But you can see real quickly that I write some things in there. So on a daily basis, you want to sit down and write something in your journal. Maybe you can write down something that you learned, but the most important thing you want to do is your vision. The very first page is your big vision. Remember I said if you want to fly private on your Hawker, if you want to have a BMW 7 Series, 5 Series, 6 Series, whatever, a Porsche, Jag, whatever your dreams are and your vision that you want to, you know, make and, you know, claim and grow in 5 to 10 years. I like to go 5 years, but if you want to go out to 10 years, you know, okay, but I recommend just 5 years and then do a 90-day broken down plan. I'm going to go into some of that deeper in another video for those of you that subscribe and take me up and maybe become part of our organization. But, you know, 5 years and then break it down 90-day, you know, rapid fire to get you to your 5-year plan. All right, so get yourself a little ledger like this. You can get these at cheap store. I don't know, some stores that have these, but you can get these at bookstores and stuff like that. And write down your vision, and then write down other things like some of the thoughts that you had, or if you are a trader or, you know, real estate investor or whatever, and, you know, some thoughts that you have, write it down in your book, so that way you have it and you can go back and read to it. All right, so I think I got everything now. I'm actually really happy because I got everything on the video, and it's my prayer that it got done, because I tried to make this video like 7 times. So remember I told you in the beginning, I don't quit. And and this is proof right here, I tried to make this video 7, 8 times and it crashed and it wouldn't upload, and I tried and tried and tried. And if you're seeing this, I was the victor on this one. God bless you. Have a great life, and it's my prayer I get to talk to you. Maybe you'll take me up on that, and you'll take us get on the conference that we have, whether it's Skype or phone, for the 15 or 30 minutes, and you'll be one of those great people that I talk to on the phone or Skype. Until we speak again, take care, God bless, and bye for now.